Betty Broderick was the ultimate woman scorned. She made national news when she shot her husband and his new wife. She made network history when Meredith Baxter portrayed her in a TV movie. Now they're running the sequel, and Betty Broderick is talking exclusively to the first major journalist on the case, our Doug Bruckner.
It was all a game, a very well orchestrated game. And in Dan's mind, this was a legal case. And he had to destroy me, totally. But I don't know why. I never did anything to him to incur all that hate and wrath.
Betty Broderick still portrays herself as a victim on the eve of another damning docudrama about the murder of her ex-husband Dan and his beautiful young wife Linda. Actress Meredith Baxter will again play Betty Sunday night in another movie of the week about the Broderick case. Betty Broderick was convicted of second-degree murder last year for killing her ex-husband and his new bride with 5 pistol shots in the bedroom of their San Diego mansion. Betty Broderick's been behind bars now for nearly 4 years, since shortly after her conviction she's been here, about 100 miles south of San Francisco at the Central California Women's Facility. She left her cell to come to the prison's visiting hall where she gave us this exclusive interview.
Do you feel remorse for what you did, Betty?
I feel such terrible remorse for what we've all been through from 1983. It'll almost be 10 years now. 10 years, I find it so meaningless, what we've all been through. What was the point of it? What was the point of any of this? What was the point of them conducting all this and lying? And I mean, I just never saw the point in it. I didn't know why they felt so compelled to destroy me. The story they were telling and trying to put over on people wasn't the truth.
It doesn't sound like in October 1992 that you're sorry that you did it.
I'm sorry about everything. Sorry about the whole thing. I mean, 2 people are dead that could have had wonderful lives, and I should have been 10 years down the road. 10 years is a long time. To an entirely new life. I mean, we all had so much potential and possibilities. Why was this so destructive of everyone?
The grim story that has come to an end at this lonely prison began with a joyous New York State wedding in the 60s when a stunning young Betty married Dan Broderick. They raised 4 children together. Betty helped put Dan through law school. And then, 17 years later, when Betty looked like this, a beautiful woman in her 20s caught Dan's eye. Dan left Betty and later married Linda Kolkina. But by this time, Dan Broderick was a $1 million a year attorney, and Betty was awarded a house with this ocean view near San Diego and a whopping $16,000 a month support payment. But she wasn't happy.
Anti-Betty Broderick people say she had a $1 million house and $16,000 a month alimony. Why didn't she go live her new life? And a boyfriend, for that matter. Why didn't she go away and live her life and leave them alone?
Me leave them alone? I would have loved to have done that. And that would have been the plan, is to be left alone and have a $1 million house and a boyfriend and a car and everything. But that's not the truth. The house was in his name. When I finally got it in late 1989 in my name, I didn't have enough monthly money to stay there. So the first thing I did was put it on the market. I couldn't stay there. And all the years of this, when he was telling people he bought me a house, it was a total lie. The house was in his name. And the money that he gave me every month to make those payments, because it was in his name, was really back in his pocket.
Betty says now that the bitter feud that ended in the murder of Dan and Linda wasn't about money, it was about love for her 4 children. Custody, she says, was what the battle was all about. But at trial, Betty's daughter Kim took the stand as a prosecution witness against her mother. Betty's children have yet to visit their mother at this prison, but she says things are better now.
The logistics of it has been difficult, but they're able to come as much as they want. I'm able to talk to them a lot more. We have a lot more freedom to be with each other than I